Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're doing something a little different and honestly incredibly exciting. We're treating this Explainer like a full-blown high-end product launch. Why? Because we're looking at a platform that completely transforms how we interact with cloud storage. If you've ever dealt with managing cloud infrastructure, you know the deal. The backend, absolutely incredibly powerful. But the user experience? Yeah, that's usually left in the dust. Well, today, we're unveiling a product called R2 Explorer. It's a robust, full-stack platform specifically designed to manage, visualize, and operate Cloudflare R2 storage buckets like never before. To really understand why this product is such a massive game changer, we have to step back and ask, why is managing cloud storage always so clunky? I mean, it's a universal pain point, right? For years, actually interacting with raw cloud storage meant you were wrestling with command line terminal commands, trying to hack together custom scripts, or just suffering through web interfaces that look like they were built back in 1999. It creates friction, it bogs down deployment, and frankly, it just isn't intuitive at all. But imagine if you could just bridge that gap completely. That's what R2 Explorer does. It takes us from raw terminal inputs straight to a visual masterpiece. So if you're a cloud architect, a full-stack developer, or a startup founder, this is exactly the kind of tool you've probably been desperately needing. We're talking about a beautiful, intuitive interface that lets you manage really complex cloud files with the exact same ease as a native desktop app. It takes that immediate, frustrating problem of cloud management friction and just solves it, delivering tremendous value right directly in your browser. Okay, let's actually dive into this. R2 Explorer isn't just functional, it is a genuinely premium UI. Right off the bat, it automatically detects your browser's preferences and seamlessly matches your system's color scheme. So you get these pristine light and dark mode folder views without touching a setting. And if you look closely at the smooth visual layout, there's high contrast support baked right in. It actually eliminates that annoying flickering you see in lesser apps when things are loading, replacing it with these really sleek, low-brightness dark skeletons. It makes managing your assets a genuinely pleasant modern experience. Now, let's talk about features that drive actual, tangible results. One of the biggest user benefits here is the OS external drag and drop. You can literally grab entire nested folder structures straight from Windows Explorer or macOS Finder and just drop them directly into your browser window. The system recursively processes those folders and perfectly reproduces your entire directory tree right there in Cloudflare R2. And while it's doing that, there's this floating, real-time progress queue tracking every single file status and transfer speed. Plus, once it's in there, you can reorganize things visually. Just drag rows into target folders without accidentally triggering your operating system's default file drop events. What's really cool is how this handles your actual content. It brilliantly illustrates the platform's visual flexibility. Because, let's be real, you shouldn't have to guess what a file is just based on a random text string. R2 Explorer handles media intuitively. If you're managing image-heavy folders, you don't just get a wall of text. You get inline media previews served straight from your CDN. The platform is smart enough to auto-detect the MIME type from the file extension for over 20 common formats, giving you instant image and, get this, even video player previews directly inside the Explorer. And you aren't locked into just one way of working either. R2 Explorer actually empowers you with 6 distinct layout modes. Maybe you need a traditional details view so you can strictly audit file sizes. Or maybe you want varying grid sizes for just quick scanning. Or if you're dealing with photos, you can switch to a visual first mosaic gallery view. You choose exactly how to display your data based on whatever task you're tackling right then. You dictate the user experience, not the other way around. Now here is a feature I absolutely love, the comprehensive bucket statistics dashboard. It just overlays right on top of this premium folder navigation. With literally a single click from the toolbar, you get an instant overview of your payload and storage insights. It recursively calculates your total file count, total folder count, your cumulative storage size complete with a visual progress bar, and it even spits out an estimated zip payload size. It's real-time, enterprise-level visibility right at your fingertips. Let's talk numbers for a second, specifically 100. That number is crucial here because it represents the 100 megabyte per file upload limit via the Express.js backend. Now, the developer intentionally configured the multi-storage in the memory RAM with this exact limit to provide really robust, memory-safe handling for the vast majority of web assets. So it's a highly calculated design choice to ensure that your server remains absolutely lightning fast and stable when it's processing your files. And here's another number, 5. R2 Explorer is a fundamentally global product, and 5 stands for the out-of-the-box languages it supports for instant internationalization. We're talking English, Portuguese, Spanish, German, and French. By using an automatic browser language detector, it seamlessly translates every single label, button, modal, and dialog to suit users worldwide the very second they load the page. Okay, let's translate a key technical concept really quickly. Cloudflare R2, just like Amazon S3, doesn't actually use real folders. Under the hood, everything is just a linear key. But R2 Explorer gives you a toggle to handle this beautifully. By default, it operates in virtual folder mode. It uses S3 delimiters to make your bucket feel exactly like a normal, everyday computer interface with folders you can navigate. But let's say you need to debug something or you want to see exactly how the raw data is stored. You just switch to flat prefix mode, which displays all the raw S3 keys recursively without any grouping. It is literally the best of both worlds for standard users and developers. Time is money, right? And these powerful bulk actions are going to save you incredible amounts of both. You can multi-select items simply by clicking and dragging a marquee lasso across empty space. Once you've got them selected, you can mass move or delete files with just a single confirmation. But honestly, the real game changer here is the server-side streaming zip downloads. So instead of downloading 50 individual files one by one, the server dynamically generates a zip archive of your selected items and streams it to you. It saves massive amounts of bandwidth. Add in native keyboard shortcuts like Control-C to copy CDN URLs, F2 to rename, and Delete to remove, and you are flying. You're working at the speed of thought. So how is this actually built? Let's pull back the curtain on the engine because the front-end tech stack is just a masterclass in modern web development. You've got React 19 paired up with Zooston, delivering an incredibly smooth, reactive global state. Then TanStack Query version 5 is in there, handling the network syncing. That gives you lightning-fast, optimistic UI updates, which basically means when you rename a file, the UI updates instantly for you without waiting for a server reload. Finally, Tailwind CSS version 4 and Framer Motion step in to ensure the premium design stays beautiful, responsive, and packed with smooth micro-interactions. But obviously, the crucial point for a tool like this is security and reliability on the back end. This system relies on an Express.js REST API and the AWS SDK version 3, which ensures your Cloudflare R2 operations are highly secure. And for the enterprise users listening, here is the standout feature. Your R2 API credentials are strictly server-side. They are never, ever exposed to the browser. On top of that, access to the dashboard itself is completely locked down by a configurable password gate, guaranteeing total privacy and tightly controlled access for your team. Now, a mature product also understands its boundaries, and we want to be completely transparent about a few important architectural limitations here. First, R2 Explorer is designed to manage a single bucket per deployment instance. As we mentioned earlier, there is that 100 MB per file upload memory limit. Also, if you decide to host the backend on Vercel's free tier, be aware that their serverless functions enforce a strict 4.5 MB request limit, which will block larger uploads. There's also no real-time WebSocket sync, so you'll just use a refresh button to reload the state. And finally, remember that folders are virtual representations. But again, these aren't flaws. They are very calculated choices to keep your deployment incredibly streamlined and lightweight. So, who is the visionary behind this phenomenal product? That would be Bruno Capi, a full-stack developer and systems analyst based out of Novo Hamburgo, Brazil. He brings a really rare and powerful background to the table, blending the meticulous precision required in industrial automation with the aesthetic and functional vision of modern web products. He fundamentally believes software should be elegant, efficient, and above all, genuinely useful. And this project is just a massive testament to that level of professional craftsmanship. Now, perhaps the most stunning detail about R2 Explorer is its availability. To quote the documentation directly, open source, self-hosted, and completely free. Licensed under Apache 2.0. I mean, wow. This creates a massive commercial and technological impact. Whether you're an independent developer working late nights, a scrappy startup, or a huge established enterprise, you can fork this repository, host it yourself, and utilize a deeply premium cloud management tool without paying a single dime in licensing fees. Ultimately, R2 Explorer highlights exactly why open source innovation is so incredibly important. This isn't just some academic exercise in writing code, it's about building technology that genuinely generates human value. By eliminating everyday friction and by turning a highly technical, clunky chore into a seamless, highly visual, and efficient process, it does the most important thing any software can do. It gives developers and teams their time back. Which really leaves us with just one final question for you today. Are you ready to explore your R2 bucket? The code is sitting right there waiting on GitHub.
It's time to take absolute control of your cloud assets, deploy your very own instance, and experience this visual masterpiece for yourself. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep innovating out there, and I'll see you next time.